Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Moments in the Word. Good to have you with us today. You know, sometimes we go through storms in life, guaranteed. There are going to be times everything's going to be going well, but then there's going to be times when things break loose. There's going to be a storm, something that we didn't expect in all kinds of areas of our life. But we've got a beautiful story about a storm and what happened in that storm and what Jesus can do. We find it in Luke chapter 8, chapter 8, verse 22 through 25. Look at what it says. And it came to pass on a certain day that he, Jesus, went into a ship with his disciples, and he said unto them, Let us go over to the other side of the lake. And they launched forth. And as they sailed, he, Jesus, fell asleep. Another says, up in the front of the boat. And there came down a storm of wind on the lake, and they were filled with water and were in jeopardy. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we perish. Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging waters, and they ceased, and there was calm. And he said unto them, Where is your faith? And they being afraid wondered, saying one to another, What manner of man is this? For he commandeth even the winds and the water, and they obey him. Well, there's a few things we can take away from this when you read this story, really a lot of things. Number one is if there's going to be a storm in your life, it's definitely good to have Jesus in your boat. Now, there's going to be a storm, I promise you. You're going to go through things that are uncomfortable, things that aren't easy, things that might even put certain things in jeopardy. But it's best to have Jesus in the boat. There's a lot of people in this world, they don't have Jesus in their boat. They can't handle the storm. Now, I know Christians, we're going to go through storms. And I know there are times of uncertainty in our lives that's going to happen. But if you got Jesus in the boat, that's the first start. When you got Jesus in your heart, Jesus in your mind, when things come, at least you got something that's going to help you get through this. Number two, just because Jesus is with you does not mean that storms will not come and fill your life with concern and issues. So now a lot of folks say, well, why does this happen to me? I'm a Christian. We are not immune. You need to get that in your spirit. Yes, we are blessed. Yes, we are favored. The good thing is when the storm comes, we got somebody to help us. But yes, Jesus is going to be in your boat. We are not immune from storms and issues and trials and tribulations and the things that happen in this world. The Bible says it rains on the just and the unjust. So yeah, we're going to all go through something, but just because you do have Jesus, you know, I hear preachers say sometimes when somebody comes to the Lord, oh, just come to Jesus. Everything's going to be great. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. You're going to go through something. Matter of fact, Jesus said, if you follow me, you're going to suffer. You're going to go through some stuff. You're going to have some growing opportunities, I promise you. Yeah, it's going to be all right with your salvation. And that's really what they mean. It's going to be all right with your salvation. You're going to be secure in Christ no matter what happens. But my friends, it ain't going to always be great. And everything's not going to always work out the way you want it to. So just because you are a Christian, just because you do have Jesus, but the good thing is because you do have Jesus, you've got something to work with. Number three, do what you know to do, but then be wise enough. Be wise enough to call on Jesus. I'm sure those disciples were bailing out water, doing everything they could. You got to understand the Sea of Galilee is between two mountain regions and a valley on the other end. And out of nowhere, a wind can come up through that valley, and the next thing you know, you've gone from a total calm to white capping in a matter of minutes. Same thing out on the ocean. You got to know how to read the signs. So, you know, they were out there. I'm sure they were doing everything they could do. But when they began to realize, hey, we're going down, somebody needs to wake Jesus up. And isn't it amazing? Jesus wasn't tore up. Why? He's the Son of God. He knew what he was going to do and what he needed to do. Jesus is bigger than your storm, no doubt. No doubt. Things are going to happen. You're going to live life every day. Do what you know to do by the word, by the scriptures here. You know, some things you can handle, and whatever you can't handle, quickly take it to the Lord. Good morning, Miss Rose. But the Bible does instruct us on a lot of things that we can do, how to handle certain situations, how to carry ourselves, how to work through things. But there's going to be times the storm's going to be bigger and we can't handle it. Go to Jesus. So do what you can do, but quickly go to Jesus. Number 4, check your faith level. The goal is to become stronger. You know, we saw in here there were some issues where their faith was weak. That's the reason Jesus said, where is your faith? Now, how do you know that? The fear and doubt were in the words perish and afraid. They thought they were going to perish, and they thought they were afraid. So there's your fear and your doubt. Tells you right there in the scriptures. They became fearful. They were doubting. They were doing what they could do, but they woke up Jesus. And as always, Jesus is going to be Jesus. He's going to speak to the winds. He's going to speak to the storms. He's going to calm it. But my friends, keep him in your boat, because he can't do it out there yet. Keep him in your boat. Keep him close to your heart. The point is, if Jesus is in our life, storms will come, but Jesus is greater than every storm. Spiritually, physically, emotionally, socially, financially. Now, I'm not going to say when. I'm going to say when, excuse me. Got me off guard there. Storms are coming. Matter of fact, as we look around this nation, I can feel an uneasiness. I know things are happening. I know the devil is on the move. I know there's a lot of corruption. I know there's a lot of evil, a lot of wickedness. But I also know this. Jesus is in my boat. I know there's some storms coming into this country like we ain't never seen. There's storms coming to the church like we ain't never seen. My friends, this is not the America we grew up in. It has been so infiltrated with other religions and other demonic forces that a lot of things are going to start unfolding. You better get Jesus in your boat, because there's going to be some winds coming. There's going to be some storms coming. But my friends, don't be afraid. You keep Jesus in your boat. Keep him in your heart. Keep him in your life. Do what you know to do by the word, by the Spirit. But there are going to be a lot of times we're going to be calling out on Jesus, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, to help us through this in every area of our lives. I guarantee you. You just watch the news and be careful how much of that you watch. And don't forget, on your social media, the majority of that, probably 90%, is a lie. So don't get your information off of social media. It's a lie. That's where a lot of Christians are going to get deceived. There's a lot of mess on there. Please stay in the word, stay in the Spirit, keep discernment, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because you're going to need it. My friends, we got some really storms coming. I'm praying. I know greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world, but that still doesn't mean it's coming. So today, make sure you got Jesus in your boat and trust him. Again, by the word, do what you can do, but call out to him quickly. When anything starts happening that's bigger than you are, call out to Jesus, and he can get up and speak to it, and it will calm down, and you'll be able to go through it. Doesn't matter what's happening in the world, we can be calm in here. God bless y'all. Have an awesome day, and we'll be back with you soon.